Okay, y'all, before I head to bed, there was something else that came to me to share. And that is about being lineage holders. Okay, so again, right, we're talking, so I'm talking about gate 32 still from the lens of the gene key, and we know that this is part of the spleen, which I already talked about. And the thing about the spleen is that you could receive guidance from like the mystery of life, right? Like where you don't know where this information is coming from, but it's there, right? It's kind of like intuitive, or like I mentioned, like the whole cognizance thing. And so within this gene key, it talks about like at its highest expression how like some of us are lineage holders, right? Some of us are individuals who have wisdom within us that is, and I'm not talking about knowledge, right? We're talking about wisdom, which is like the living spirit of truth, this knowingness about the mystery of life, right? Like some of us are going to be a host for it. And basically, when we're talking about wisdom, we're talking about something that like can be passed down from generations to generations, right? Like I said, is the spirit of truth. And so they talk about lineage holders as the host of this wisdom, and that there are going to be like before or in the past, it seemed as if we needed to go through like these traditional ways of spirituality, right? Like we needed a teacher, we needed a guide, we needed a guru in order to awaken this within us, in order to give us permission to do it. And so Gene Key 32 talks about how like we're gonna kind of move away, like we're kind of gonna move away from that traditional thing where we need this formal training. And a lot of us are, or people in general, or the collective, we are gonna start, well, people are just gonna be a host of this information, and then it's gonna be awakened in them as part of their transmission, right, as part of their initiation of sorts. But it's not gonna be in a traditional sense that like a teacher or like a pastor has to give you permission to be a pastor or be a deacon, right? Like we're gonna be, as a collective, we're gonna be moving away from that, and it's gonna be as if like people are just going to become a host because they know they're a host, because it has awakened within them, and that they're going to be able to but be a host for this wisdom, right? And the whole idea is that we're all connected, so the wisdom is like catching on from one person to another. It's gonna be embodied in different beings, right? And so this wisdom is, like I mentioned, is the spirit of truth. It's truth, right? And so we know that when we're talking about this absolute truth, in sense that the truth does not change, right? And it's like a really interesting idea, and I found it very interesting because so years ago I went through Reiki training, right? And while I was doing Reiki training, I realized, I'm like, we don't need to be attuned to this. We're already attuned, right? Like that's just my belief, right? Take it as you want, but that's my belief. I don't believe that people need to be attuned to Reiki. I believe that it's already in us. We just have to remember how to awaken it. That's just me. But basically gate 32 or Gene Key 32 talks about that. It's saying the same exact thing, that for some it's just we're not going to require a living master in order to carry this wisdom, in order to carry this knowing. So I wanted to share this to say this, okay, that trust yourself. Don't be scared. Just because like your path is not how they say it has to be, trust yourself. Please, please, please. Like I beg all of us to start trusting ourselves. Trust your knowing. Trust what's coming up. I'm telling, like everything I thought growing up as a young girl, all the things I was noticing, all the things I journaled about since 2010 is like they're coming back up. Like things I used to journal about, I read about in books, which is wild. Books that I hadn't read yet, that I read after the fact, where I can literally go on my journal and think about a book I read and be like, yo, I was writing about this. I didn't use the same language, but I was already saying this. And so it's like, you have wisdom in you. Like you have it in you. Trust yourself. Trust your knowing. There are some things that you're just going to know. People don't need to affirm it for you. If you know it's truth and you can feel the truth within you, go with it. Stop letting people talk you out of your gifts. Stop letting people talk you out of your knowing. You got this. Okay, if you know something is true about yourself and you affirm it over yourself and it feels aligned, you know it is what it is. You know, when I say things that when I put certain labels on myself that I used to resonate with, and I can feel when they no longer resonate. I say that to say it's more than likely you can feel when something is the truth for you. Lean into that. Trust that. You don't need people to give you permission. We're moving away from needing living masters to tell us that we got permission to be in purpose with God. Like, you don't need that. No one needs to co-sign you. Yes, it's helpful, I'm sure, but even if no one agrees that you have this gift, even if no one agrees that you have this purpose, even if no one agrees that you are to occupy a certain role, like, it's not about them. You have to trust yourself. You have to be confident in your knowing. And I think, like, I'm a projector in human design, and one of the things about being a projector is that you have to see yourself first. You have to be able to recognize yourself first. And I think that that's why, too, I've been on this journey the way I have, where it's just like reminding me, like, yo, own your power. Be confident in your knowing. Be confident in who you are. You know, I've always been seen as a confident person, but like, it's a different kind of like embodiment and confidence where you're really unmovable, when you're really unshakable, where like, even if you feel insecure, you know it ain't about nothing. So you ain't even letting your insecurities get to you. Okay? So yeah, I just want to encourage you all, like, what really came up with me wanting to share this is to let you know that you don't need permission to be in your magic. People don't have to agree that you have the gifts you have the abilities you have. Humans are magical. Okay, we have a lot of resources and access because of the way our bodies it works, the way we're designed, you know. And so I think, like, getting back into our bodies, part of that is recognizing the magic within us, recognizing how much information we're carrying, recognizing how to access that information, how to access that wisdom, how to access that knowledge, how to allow yourself to go through these transmissions and these initiations that don't come from some living master, but comes from the truth of who you are. So that's what wanted to come out. That's what we got. And others are, so when that wisdom takes residence in you, others will see it. So others will know it. So those who is meant to drink from the deliciousness of your wisdom, the nectar of it all, will know it. So you don't even have to worry about it. You don't need to display it. You could display it, but you don't need to convince no one of it. Those who are meant to benefit from it, those who are meant to be connected with it will. Okay, all you need to do is to trust yourself. All you need to do is allow it. All you need to do is recognize the wisdom within you, and you don't need to shy away from it. You don't need some guru or some supposed whatever tell you that you got permission to do this. You got permission. Like, yes, you may need to remember how you want to utilize it, or learn about how to be responsible, learn how to be in integrity. But that's it, babe. That's it. At least I think so. But again, go to your inner guide. Go to your inner G. It knows the way. We got this. Okay. Hopefully I'm done. I'm going to sleep. It's funny enough, like, as I'm talking now, I don't feel as tired as I did. I love this shit. All right, I'm out. Peace. Good night. May your sleep be restorative, friends.